That's the hill.
JB, I think we're back again.
I don't see any rain, Frank.
Clearly, we're in the wrong area if that's the case.
Is this still northeastern Pennsylvania? Sorry to New York and Boston and everywhere else on the East Coast. We sent all that weather that rained us out last night up your way. But we've got a beautiful night.
Referees are here?
Yep.
So we can have a football game now.
Yeah, okay. That was something that may have been a challenge with getting the Kings Wilkes game rescheduled, but hopefully they got to figure out. We got they've released the Hounds. We got Moravian running by on the other side of the cameras, getting ready here. But it's time for another Game Day Live. Hopefully we'll go 4 quarters.
You know what I have to say at this point? You're watching Season 18 of In the Huddle.
Looks like we're ready to go.
I think we are. So here we are again. This time Allentown, Pennsylvania. Last night we got treated to 1 whole quarter of football.
Just one.
So it was our teaser basically for what we're in for tonight. We have a 2% chance of rain at some point over the next couple hours. 2%, which means with our luck it'll pour any second now. But no.
It's looking pretty clear to me, Frank. I'm looking around. It's a beautiful September night here in Allentown. Weather couldn't be nicer. It's about 75 with a little bit of a breeze. I mean, I can't imagine a better night for Week 1 football. Wish we had this last night for the Mayor's Cup game. Now we got the Mules who are sporting, for the first time ever, the dark gray home uniforms. Normally they wear, I think it's like the maroon or kind of a scarlet or crimson red color that you'll see some of like the coaches and the assistants wear, but they're rocking the gray kits tonight. You've got Moravian and their away blue and whites as usual. This is another crosstown rivalry game. It's for the Sodexo Cup trophy game. It sort of looks like a smaller version of the Stanley Cup. I've seen some photos of it. I haven't seen it yet. We got to get a picture of the mayor with the Sodexo Cup since we got the Mayor's Cup last night. And, we'll okay, what's going on here, Frank? Is this because your rabid foxes are disturbing your village back in upstate New York? What do we got going on here?
Well, look, Kobe and Jimmy can't be the only ones having all the fun with kilts and helmets and all that
True,
stuff.
That's true. Hey, so, we can have a little fun. We're not that old yet.
We've got the Muhlenberg gray helmet here that Nate Milne said we can't take with us.
Dang.
So, you and Nate were talking about Hobart coming up in a second here.
Yes.
And your guys' affinity for that school. Perfect timing, too.
Perfect timing, guys.
Take that helmet off,
Nice
he said.
work.
He's right. I need to take this helmet off.
Yeah,
For my own sanity.
Don't hurt yourself there, Mayor.
Woo.
There we go.
It's warm under there. It is warm here tonight, actually, folks.
Yeah. It might be more like 80, 85 down on the field with the sun reflecting. I imagine we'll get it down into the low, high 60s once the sun goes down. There's been a nice breeze, although it's funny. It's kind of dead now. Flags aren't moving. It's gotten kind of calm before the football storm. Hopefully, there's no actual storms. We had plenty of that.
Please no. Yeah. So anyway, JB, let's start setting the stage here. This game is a rivalry game. It used to be a conference game when they were both in the Centennial.
Yeah, I was going to tease you about this because you called the Hounds from the Centennial a couple times by accident. Which it's only been 3 seasons since they've been over the landmark, so it's pretty easy. And there's been some switching around, so an easy mistake to make. But yeah, this is a rivalry that goes back many decades. 73 times, I think, they played this game.
It is quite a few, but now they, with out-of-conference games and the need for out-of-conference games, it was a good excuse to keep this one, obviously, and they are doing so. So we're going to start up here with Nate Milne, who we've known for a good number of years in various capacities. You from your Hobart connection.
That's right.
Me from just kind of hanging around here at the stadium to cover
been
the
here
games.
like 20 times over the
Yeah,
years.
probably about 12 to 15,
Yeah.
but Union College used to play them regularly back when, so I've called games up in that press box behind us many times. But long story short is he's got a new look situation here. Joe Rapetti graduated. Who's his quarterback? How's this going to work? And here are the answers to those questions.
Yeah.
Coach, been a long time.
It's not that long. You guys are, you wear on people sometimes. And so some people think it's not too long. I think it's been too long. And I'm happy to see you guys, especially happy to see you, JB.
Yes.
What a great day.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm treated to great games no matter what whenever I come here, thanks to you. We won't talk about the Hopkins game a couple of years ago. We forgot about that one, right? So this game, though, all the kidding aside, new season, new look in a lot of ways here. And we were told that you've told some people that you actually have to coach this year because you can't just depend on a quarterback that's got lots and lots of experience back there. Tell us about that situation. Who's your quarterback and how at this point?
Yeah, I think I've heard this story before, first and foremost. When Nick Palladino graduated, it was the end of Muhlenberg College. And then when Michael Natkowski graduated, it was the end of Muhlenberg College. And now that Joe Rapetti's gone, it's the end of Muhlenberg College again.
Okay.
So I've heard this story before from a lot of people in a lot of series and a lot of years. So we're super excited to go out there with a new quarterback this year for us. We're going to start Dante Mahaffey tonight. Luke Spang will play as well. So both quarterbacks are going to play. And we're going to use both of those guys to the best of their ability. They've had a really great camp. And I think just like we've done in years past, you're going to see a lot of new faces that are really, really talented. They happen to sit behind some other really talented players. I think the biggest one you're going to see is our defensive line and our wide receivers. Obviously, we graduated all conference players at both of those positions, and you're going to see guys step into bigger roles. I think Chris Short is one of those guys. Chris, I think, had 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns last year and was a primary special teams guy, and now he steps into a big role at wide receiver. And then our defensive line, one of our captains, Blaze Curry, has just been behind some really, really good players, and he's been a spot player. So now this is going to be his time to shine.
Coach, anything, I know last season maybe you guys gave up a few many points here and there, more than you probably would like to see. Any changes? You mentioned the defensive line. A kid from Whitewater referred to them as butt kickers, so I think that's what I'm going to call them now.
Yeah, I like
for
it.
the rest of the season. But anything defensively change-wise or anything we might see, don't give away the company's secrets, but you know what I'm talking about.
Everything's on tape, so we're okay talking about it. We'll play a little bit more of an odd front this year.
Yeah.
Last year we had 4 down, and we felt like that was the strength of our team. All the guys that are back at linebacker, 3 of the 4 guys are back in the secondary, and so we want to put more of those guys on the field than we did a year ago. And so we may look a little bit different from a schematic standpoint, but it really is to get what we think is our best 11 on the football field. So we'll play a little bit more of an odd front this year than we have in years past, and then what you'll probably see out of us tonight and over the next few weeks is different personnel groups and different personnel packages to, again, allow some young guys to grow and then for us to continue to see and evaluate guys and maybe what will be who we are at the end of the season. I do think when you look back at the end of the year, shutting out Montclair and then giving up 7 against Widener in the bowl game, I think our defense came a long, long way from giving up back-to-back 50 games early in the season. So I was really happy with their growth, and obviously a lot of those guys come back and they understand what it takes to be successful in our scheme.
Yeah.
Well, Moravian, let's talk about this idea. It's a rivalry game, but they have not won it in a while. JB and I both picked them last night, which I know is something that isn't going to make us elite in your eyes.
It's all right.
But, tell us about this rivalry, what it means to the area, what it means to you guys.
I think it's great for the area. And what I've said to a few people is I think it's been awesome that it moved to week 1. Now there was 2 great rivalries in the Lehigh Valley. You have Lehigh Lafayette, which is the oldest played 1AA game in America, and Muhlenberg and Moravian. A lot of times there was those were on the same weekend, and so now for us to be week 1 and kind of be the focal point for the Lehigh Valley is awesome. And then Lehigh Lafayette can have their little game at the end of the season as well. And so I think it's great. Obviously, Coach Long knows our program really, really well and learned under Coach Donnelly just like I did. And then obviously went to a great program at John Carroll and did some wonderful things there. And so he's done a really, really good job building and building and building. And they've got great experience. I think 9 of 11 starters back on defense. And obviously the quarterback, Jared Jenkins, who we know very, very well here in the Lehigh Valley. He's a local quarterback here at Freedom High School in Bethlehem. And so for us, we know them really well. We know what Coach Long's doing, and so I think it'll be, again, another outstanding matchup tonight.
JB closes out.
Well, I got a couple of things real quick, Frank.
Sure.
So we understand that this game is for the Sodexo Cup. It's sort of like a Stanley Cup-looking trophy.
Yep.
Is Sodexo like the food company? Like, where does Sodexo fit into the Muhlenberg Moravian picture here?
Sure. They are the dining hall company for both institutions. We have the #1 ranked dining hall in all of Pennsylvania. So all you offensive linemen out there, if you're listening, this is important to have food here.
Yeah, you gotta eat up, get big. You know?
And so obviously it's going to be really important for both programs to have big offensive linemen here. Yeah, Sodexo Cup.
Yeah. And then one last thing, you can sit this one out, Frank.
Sure.
How exciting would it be for you guys to finish the season and potentially play the Hobart Statesmen in a playoff game? We're a couple of Hobart grads. They're also playing tonight. I might be listening in to see how Coach DeWall does. I mean, would that be kind of cool or what?
It would be awesome. So I actually have had one experience at Boswell in the playoffs when I was at Cortland.
Okay.
So I was an assistant at Cortland and got to go back there in a playoff game. And then when I was at Susquehanna, we played in the regular season. So I have been to the Bos twice as a competitor. 0-2 at the Bos, 1-2 overall against the Statesmen.
Okay.
Obviously wishing Coach DeWall and everybody at Hobart and Geneva good luck tonight and throughout the rest of the season. But it would be great to have one of my teammates there, or I'd love to play any of my teammates. Again, the Hobart football community is great. Brian Bubna, obviously, at MIT. Scott Yoder at Shenandoah. And then obviously Kevin at Hobart and myself here. So it's a great group. Elite men. Elite here.
Statesmen.
All the time.
I'll be over here.
Union guys just hope that they can be us someday.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Frank. Thank you so much. Good to see you guys.
Good luck.
Did you notice how eloquent and just, I mean, that's a Hobart education for you right there. Nate Milne, class of 03, I believe. He's a few years younger than I am. I'm a little old, but, you know. Hey, I had to do the Hobart shout-out. Sorry, Frank. I couldn't help it.
I'm just whatever over here. Apologies for a little bit of the glitch we had there. Computer decided to turn off during that, but you got most of the video at least from that and all the sound. So
If
hey.
that's the worst thing that happens tonight after yesterday, I mean, we're playing with house money here.
Yeah, we are.
In the distance, you can see the Mules are getting ready. It's about 45 minutes until kickoff. Just looks like there's the defensive backs doing some, just drills and stuff like that.
What was your number?
36.
Let me see if I see any
Yeah.
36s
Who do
over here.
I have to pay off to get the 36 jersey out of here? I don't know.
Well, again, those are the great jerseys right there. 36 is right there.
Okay.
A little shorter and smaller than you. I don't think you're going to fit in that one.
Yeah, I might be a little too chubby for that. Not too chubby,
Let's
though.
see, where is he? I think he already went downfield. So anyway.
I need at least an XL jersey, Frank. I've been lifting some weights, as
Right.
people have noticed, I guess, on social media.
We're not putting our faces on cameras because we're about to put our faces back on camera on tape.
Yeah.
Coach Long, we got to talk to him during Media Day at Landmark Conference Media Day.
Yep.
And first time that you interacted with him, was it, or?
It was, yeah. Actually, the first time I met Coach Long. Tonight's the first time I met Coach Milne. So, I mean, this for
in
me.
person, really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, actually, and this is the first time in 30-plus years I've actually been on Muhlenberg's campus. This place is a special memory for me when my dad and I came and played catch on the Muhlenberg field. I think it was I think it's the field that's on the other side. I think this
Yes.
stadium was new.
Yeah, there's another one down there.
This was a long time ago, since I was in high school. But my dad and I kind of came here. We're looking at the schools. We're looking at schools here in the Lehigh Valley, and I do remember playing catch with my dad here at Muhlenberg. So it's a special place for that memory alone.
Let's hear from Coach Long, who talks about this game and a whole lot more. Stomping grounds, digging mules was something you kind of grew up with. Now you're going against them here for another year, but kind of with a different feeling in this game as we're coming along. Jared Jenkins having probably the highlight next to his name more than even a Muhlenberg QB. How does this game feel to start the season, and what does it mean to you guys right now to maybe get a win even here?
Well, hey, look, this rivalry is a fun one to be a part of. I think anytime, you get the local proximity between the two schools, and I believe it's the 73rd meeting now all time, like, it's fun to be a part of that, right? Each year, each team, you got to carve your own identity, and you want to be a part of it, and Muhlenberg's had the number the last few years, and we're excited to go take our shot at it. The guys have worked really hard, and Jared is, a special young man. Obviously he can spin it. And he can also, though, what I'm excited about is he runs the show well in terms of keeping the guys in check and making sure that we're in good spots out there on the field. And we're excited to see how he attacks that tonight.
Coach, the last time we saw you, I think it was August 6th. It's September 5th, literally 30 days since. Tell us, how did the preseason go? I mean, we saw you at the media day. Mm-hmm. It's all about the hype and, kind of doing the answers to the usual questions. But you went through the preseason practices. How's the team looking? How are you feeling?
No, we're excited. I mean, the guys have worked really hard, really since January. When we came back and, got everybody together, it was like, hey, this begins January 15th, right, when school started. Yeah. So they've worked really hard. And the cool thing about camp that I'd say is I think they competed well. There was great growth in player-led leadership, which was really cool to see. Mm-hmm. Every year you want to see that grow. And the last thing I'll say is, like, the identity, searching for that identity. And hey, how do we want to be remembered? I think that's the fun part. Is each week you have a chance to write that story, and they're really embracing it. Like, hey, every day we got to earn it, and that's been fun to see. And they've competed really hard, and I'm excited to now get the first one that counts.
Yeah, exactly.
How does it feel with this game? Because you obviously remember it as a conference game back when. Yeah. Then you came into the landmark when basically you started off and took off as a head-to-head versus different conferences. Yeah. How does this feel? Is it different from when you were younger and part of this?
Well, I think just the date has changed, right? Like, so I guess there's a lot more unknown before the game, if you make that make sense, about each team. Like, yes, the rivalry's there, the intensity's there, for sure. But each team now, when they saw each other week 10 or 11, you kind of knew the story on the season had been written. There's 10 games of film, 9 games of film prior. Whereas here, there's a lot of unknown, which makes it more exciting, right? Like, growing up in South Jersey, we opened. I went to Syracuse. We played Shawnee in the opener, and that was our big rival. It used to be at the end of the year, and then in my career, it started being the opener. It was electric. You didn't know what they were going to be like, right? Yeah. But that intensity was still there. So it's still a fun and intense rivalry for us. And like I said, it's our turn to try to leave our mark on it.
Yeah, Coach Millen referred to this when we were speaking to him. It's a great opportunity for kind of from a local community, perspective, recruiting-wise, that you guys get this weekend to yourselves, right? You're not sharing with Lehigh Lafayette or anything like that. Like, this is a real highlight game for college football in the Lehigh Valley. I imagine, I saw that there were some recruits in here. I imagine you guys have some recruits too. But what does it mean, to the local community to have this game on week 1?
Well, I think that these schools are rooted in this area, right? The alumni bases all have great pride in this area, and even, Jersey, like the tri-state area. It's a drivable game where they want to come back to those campuses and they remember whether it's the heartbreak or the fond memories, right? But they all want to be a part of it. And then recruiting-wise, like, it's great high school football in this area. So to not, like I said, now that we aren't at the end, we can have our own stage a little bit to show that there's great quality football in Division III. I think that's the fun thing, that each year when you bring a recruit and their family out for a game, they walk away and they're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Exactly.
And that's the cool part. And I think Nate hit the nail on the head. It's big for our area, and because we're both always going to recruit the Valley and make sure that, hey, they know that the Hounds and the Mules are around and that some great quality football's ahead.
Absolutely.
Coach, last question for you. He coaches the offensive line, as you know. I've seen him on the sideline for every game, get him ready. Is your defensive line up to the task to break through that line with Nate Milne at the helm with the offensive line on the other side?
Well, hey, look, Nate's done a phenomenal job, and he's a great coach. And you know, we're going to be ready. You know, I'm very excited to see it, and you know, it's going to be a physical battle. You know, and that's the line of scrimmage is where it's going to be won and lost. So I'm excited to see that challenge. It will be a great one, but I know the guys are going to play their tails off for 60 minutes, and they're going to show them what we got.
Best of luck tonight, sir. Week 1, here we go. Let's get it underway.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, Coach.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, man.
All right.
And we're back out. That was Coach Long of Moravian, and we're coming at you live from Allentown, Pennsylvania on Facebook Live and X. You have to be a D3 football noob to not realize that we only operate on Facebook and X for a reason. The bandwidth, the quality. You know, we did have to create a YouTube channel for storage purposes. If you think that that's our show, then you're an idiot. That's all I'll just say that, because we have never been on YouTube, really. We just had to do it because of some changes with Facebook.
We just crossed 100 followers on on YouTube yesterday, actually.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I mean, at least they're noticing that for the, you know, it's it's sort of like a storage space, like an archive, right? Especially since these live shows, for some reason now, break Facebook policy. So we needed a place to put them. You know, I'm pretty sure that, you know, if you've been following us since we've been on video since 2018, you know what's up. And we thank the thousands, if not 10,000 plus viewers who have checked the last 3 episodes, 4 episodes, including our preseason show. We had the nice work, by the way, on cutting together those 10 interviews into 3 separate shows. We like to highlight the student athletes here. We're going to be highlighting them tonight between Muhlenberg and Moravian. And we were getting some information earlier. The transfers, I mean, everyone's asking about the transfer portal and all that. There's a lot of transfers, especially on Moravian.
61 and 92, was it, or the other way around? I can't remember. It was about 15 total, though, we were being told.
Yeah.
And Valpo is a fertile ground for them, apparently. They've gotten some over a course of years, it sounds like, from Valpo as Moravian. Look, Pennsylvania football is a big deal still to this day. I remember growing up, Jersey and Pennsylvania in the 90s especially were kind of where it was at during the Rowan phase, during some of the Steel City days and everything else going on in the 90s. We had a kind of a pause, it felt like, once Rowan kind of fell off too.
Yeah.
And then a funny thing started to happen around the time Michael Nikowski was quarterback for this program, and then Susquehanna as well coming back into the mix again. Suddenly Pennsylvania, highly relevant. Carnegie Mellon now, Grove City now. Welcome to Pennsylvania, folks. A Division III stomping ground.
Pennsylvania is so football. They actually have a town. I drove past it. Jim Thorpe, PA. They actually have a town named after a Hall of Fame football player. I don't think many states can boast that, and that's really what football means to this area, especially in the Lehigh Valley.
What football means to a lot of people out in D3 land is there were games yesterday, there were games tonight. Why don't we go over the action we've seen so far, JB, with our scoreboards?
And for anyone who's new to our program, we always go by region, and we have the home team represent the region. So in this case, you know, obviously you can see Franklin and Marshall wins the game 31-21, but Lev Val was the home team. So we have this slide for Region 1, and you'll see that throughout this season as we roll out these scoreboards.
Tonight, Bridgewater State at Curry, Montclair State at Merchant Marine Academy. Our best of Jaden Daly.
That's gone right now.
Yep. So he's actually, you're right, 6 p.m. Both of those games are both on right now. SUNY Maritime, Mass Maritime at 7.
The Chowda Bowl.
Chowda. Dean Fitchburg State at 7 as well. We continue Ursinus and Alvernia. Remember, I saw Ursinus at Muhlenberg here last year. That Score Fest that occurred here last
100
year.
100 points or something like that. It was crazy.
Crazy night. So we'll see if Ursinus has something in them again this season.
Yeah, that game is a 7:30 kickoff. It's the last one of the night out in Alvernia.
And that will do it for tonight, basically.
Yep, for Region 1.
But you may want to see some other games in Region 1. Here's the rest of them. I hope you like our new graphics here, folks.
Yeah, no, they look pretty sharp, Frank. Nice work.
Get used to it.
One of the games that we talked about, I think, was Hampton-Symphony, Delaware Valley in our preseason show. We got the pinch and saw game between Springfield and Western New England. That's gotten moved up to 11 o'clock. All the bad weather we had last night is heading up that direction, so a lot of games are being moved up an hour to get them in. You got the Coast Guard against University of New England, Castleton, Westfield, Geneva, Widener, RPI, and WPI at the 6 p.m. Transit Trophy kickoff. That should be another good one between those two schools.
In Region 2, which we're basically standing in Region 2 country right now. We'll start on the right side there, which is the game we caught one quarter of last night.
Right.
We had a blast there last
defensive
night.
battle.
Yeah, it really was. We had a blast
With
there.
the rain.
But, with the lightning and everything, taking that game and dismantling it on us, unfortunately, we will not be able to conclude with them tomorrow at noontime. But it is 3-0 Kings. They will pick up from that point tomorrow in the second quarter, starting the second quarter. And Kings is facing a fourth and a lot because of a sack that we did catch at the end of the quarter that we posted up. And so you get to see what our work looks like in case you're new to us if you go back and look at that on x.com. Rockport wins the I-90 Bowl against Buffalo State.
Isaiah Simmons with a big night, 176 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Defense held Buffalo State to only 135 total yards.
And Marietta, Westminster had a chance.
Yeah.
Our friend Alex DeVito was at that game doing some video and different kind of work over there.
Yep.
And he was brokenhearted as a Westminster guy to see Westminster basically drop the ball at the end of the game with a chance to win it.
Yep.
But the time of possession, 41-19, crazy amount there.
Yeah.
Tonight, it's Concordia, Wisconsin at Teal. It is Hobart at Alfred. We heard enough about that game already.
Oh, yeah.
McDaniel at Catholic. Norwich at St. Lawrence. Juniata at Gettysburg. Easy for me to say tonight. And this game, Moravian at Muhlenberg.
Don't forget Norwich against St. Lawrence for the Hoffman Cup. Another cup game we got tonight.
There you go. Did I skip over that? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
there's a lot of stuff on that screen. It's hard to read it all.
Yes, it is. Also, though, if you want to catch some other games tomorrow that are not on the screen, Utica, Washington, Jefferson could be an interesting game, by the way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The Utica guys will come ready to play. I know they have a young team, but
Union, Susquehanna.
Yeah, yep.
The game I'm going to be at tomorrow, Grove City at Cortland, but also down the street, Johns Hopkins at Ithaca. A big game there for sure.
Absolutely.
TCNJ, Lycoming could be an interesting matchup between NJAC and Landmark teams.
Look at this one, Trine at Christopher Newport from Michigan or Indiana all the way down to Newport News. That's a long trip for them.
And then Case at Rowan. Our friend Pat Ruley, I'm sure, is ready to roll with that game.
That's a big
Case
matchup.
is the team that in terms of the pack, I said it was going to be the third-place team this season behind Grove City, Washington, Jefferson.
Yeah.
You were thinking Westminster after last night.
Maybe not. Yeah, well, I mean, Marietta had a good game. Their running back had almost 171 yards, but maybe that says more about the Titans' defense. Yeah, I'll be curious to see how Coach Ruley's profs do. We also got John Carroll going to Waynesburg. Dennison's playing Allegheny, and William Patterson taking on Westcon.
To Region 3, a game with no scoring in the second half, but Trinity in the second half, early in the third quarter, blocked a 29-yard field goal against Texas Lutheran. They would have gone within 9, which obviously is still 2 possessions, but that seemed to take all the wind out of the Texas Lutheran offense sails at that point, and it was a win for Trinity, 26-14. That is basically not erasing fully, but at least getting revenge on the loss last year at Trinity between those two. Howard Payne, who people are saying is just a mess or a rebuild or a build or whatever you want to call it, they beat Brady Banalina, I believe it is, the Gallardi semifinalist last year, and Pacific 21-13. Surprised a lot of people to see that score that way, JB.
Yeah, especially, I mean, you'd expect maybe bigger numbers, but, we got Blessing, I think Najeen is his last name, only 100 total yards, couple rushing touchdowns. The defense, though, really the story for the Yellow Jackets. Look at that, 6 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. I mean, how did Pacific score 13 points?
Crazy. NC Wesleyan scored more than 13. In fact, they scored about 5 times that. Yeah, 64-12 over Everett. And Bellhaven, 50, Millsaps 24. It's a little bit of a grudge match there because of the way things played out last year at the end of that game.
Yeah. Remember, Belhaven as a team in the USA South, I said, was my sleeper. That's an impressive start for them. They
Indeed.
look good.
Well, we thought they may have had a chance, last year in the whole situation, and didn't pan out that way, but maybe this year we'll see what happens. Tonight, Dickinson at Randolph-Macon.
That's going on right now.
It is. Albright at Gallaudet is also.
Yes, it is.
And that is it for Friday games in Region 3.
Yeah.
We looked down the rest of these, and Salisbury, Washington Lee, pointed out yesterday, pretty good. Huntington at Barry,
That's
a good game again
Yep.
this year. They're playing each other again.
Yep.
Bethel at UMHB. That's not the Bethel from Minnesota. This
One
is the
from
Bethel from Tennessee.
Yeah.
But the Destin Chance Show resumes.
Yep.
Illinois College transfer to Bethel, Tennessee, with his brother as coach. So Destin Chance is the QB against UMHB tomorrow.
Yeah, against a guy who transferred from Illinois. Is it Michaud? Is that how he pronounced his name?
Kirkland Michaud.
So, yeah, we'll see what this new QB does for the Crusaders, and should be a good one.
And let's see what else we have here. Southwestern McMurray could be interesting.
Stevenson Bridgewater is a good Region 1 versus 3 crossover, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Let's go over to Region 4. Region 4, I believe we're at.
4 is
here.
after 3, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I just want to make sure they're right.
Oh, yeah, and that's where we saw our good friend Ty Poorman from Orlando, Florida.
Hello.
My neighbor, Jim Poorman, who's been a friend of the show since his son Luke was a player for Mount Union and the Crusaders of UMHB back in the day. Ty had a pretty good night. His efficiency wasn't great. I think he was 13 for 23. There was a couple of drop balls I think he was hoping his guys would catch. But you can't complain about 5 touchdowns, 2 through the air, 3 rushing. They blow out Hiram 65-27. A nice start for the Student Princes.
Wheaton at Mount Union is the game that jumps out at you on this sheet here. There are no Friday games for this region per se.
You know what could be interesting, Frank, is Alfred State at Anderson. That's an interesting, rare kind of 1 versus 4 matchup you don't see every day. Adrian versus Valpo. We talked to Noah Boudry in our preseason interviews. He's the former Mount Union quarterback. Now he's the quarterback of the Bulldogs.
DePaul Rose-Hulman.
Well, that's a pretty good one, too.
Well, I like to see who DePaul is this season now.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see. Come back out here for a moment here as that was it for Region 4. And you can see teams getting ready here. You can see walking down the left sideline right
27 minutes to kickoff.
Is Moravian getting ready here. And we'll give you a little bit of a view of those guys coming through here.
See the ball boys playing catch. There you go.
Oops, not that low, though.
There's number 7. I think that's Jenkins, right?
Jared Jenkins, yep.
Here he comes. Yeah, he's the star quarterback for Moravian. Threw for over 3,000 yards and I think 33 touchdowns or something like that last year. So he's a big player for the Hounds.
Let's go to Region 5 in the meantime here. Coe with a big win against Cornell last night,
Another
62-6. And Illinois College, the aforementioned Illinois College,
yeah,
this
the
time
Blue Boys,
28-9 against Greenville. Thought that might be a little actually deeper than that score distance, but it was not 28-9. So kind of a new casting crew at Illinois College.
Special shout out to not a blue boy, but a blue girl, Mia Geiger, I think is her name, or Gerger, sorry, is she's a senior place kicker.
Got a PAT, right?
Yeah, she got in for that last. She was the 28th point of the game, the first time ever. A young lady has participated in football for them, so exciting for her. And congratulations to the Blue Boys in starting 1-0.
Again, no Friday night games in Region 5 either. Carnegie Mellon of Chicago could be interesting to see the
new look Tartans.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see if Joey McGinnis the fourth gets underway.
Wabash St. Norbert is an interesting game.
Yep.
Those are 2 bowl teams from last season
from
the NCAC and the I think St. Norbert's in the NACC.
The NAC. Yep. And also Platteville at Aurora, which is another NAC team.
Yeah.
Aurora.
That's a big game.
Against a WEAC team. We both called for the upset last night.
Yeah, we did.
Independently, completely independently. We called it. Me on Thursday or Wednesday night, actually, on another show.
Yep.
And then on our show, you called this without knowing that. So interesting that we both go for Aurora in this situation.
Yep.
I think that's about all I'm going to call attention to on that page. But there are more games, actually, in Region 5. Believe it or not here, including, let's see here, Monmouth at Wartburg.
That's a good one.
Yep.
We talked about that. We think that Wartburg's got that one probably buttoned up, but Monmouth was picked to win the MWC. We'll see what happens. Wash U, always a good team in the CCIW, takes on Rhodes.
And we got to apologize right now to Case Western Reserve University and Claremont Mudd Scripps, because in the smaller boxes there's no practical way to abbreviate your name without completely destroying it. So we go to CMS in your case.
Yep.
And the larger scoreboards, we will have the ability to put some of your name at least in those. But CMS at Lake Forest, no, it's actually at Chandler, Arizona.
A local high school that's in the area, that I'm sure half the Forester roster might have graduated from. All right.
Well done. Actually.
Last but not least, we got Region 6.
And Carroll lost to Eau Claire last night, 29-7, and Valley City State beats Augsburg. Valley City State.
I thought they were Grand Valley for a second, but then someone corrected me. This is the NIAIA.
NAIA.
Whatever. I always mess up the acronyms.
EIO and all that
EIOs,
stuff.
yeah. So Augsburg, they start off with a loss, but they did play an out of division team, so no MPI.
So 27-0 Alma at River Falls, the Kobe Bowl we call it. Dubuque at Stout could be interesting to say the least, because Stout is high on people's radars in the WEAC.
Yeah.
Also Carleton at Whitewater to see who the new QB is and how they play for Whitewater.
I like this game down here, Frank. Pomona Pitzer at Willamette.
I like it.
I think that'll be interesting. And there was another one.
Pack Lutheran, Cal Lutheran.
Yeah, that's always a good one. I thought there was another.
Oshkosh at Linfield.
Oh yeah.
Here, let me keep going for you.
Oh wait, no, it's the Gusties against Whitworth. That was the one I was thinking of before, not the Willamette game. Whitworth has been, up there in the Northwest Conference for a couple seasons. I think the Gusties have had a couple of good years recently. Who knows? That could be interesting.
Last but not least on this Region 6 page,
Yep.
Hardin-Simmons at Chapman is an interesting game to see how
it's a good
Hardin-Simmons
nightcap.
comes back, and Chapman with a new head coach.
Yep.
As Bob Owens, I believe it was, had retired late in the ball game, we'll call it. And George Fox at Redlands, another NWC SCIAC crossover game for sure there. So, having said all that,
We got about 22 minutes to kill, Frank. What are we going to talk about now?
we got some things here.
We got things.
First off, let's go a little bit deeper here. We talked a little bit about last night, the UMHB situation.
Yeah.
Quarterback situation that. Hold on. Actually, we switch back here. We're going to see the mules crossing back there. And they're going to have a little huddle actually directly behind us here.
Yeah.
If I get out of your way, you're going to be able to see that even better, folks. But UMHB's quarterback situation, you talked about Kirkland Michaud earlier being the starter tomorrow. I mean, this Division I mentality world right now we're seeing in Division III football, JB.
Is it really that different from what we saw from Mount Union in the 90s, though?
But do you remember Division III transfers to that degree? I mean, Pierre Garcon did go from Norwich to Mount Union.
True.
I do remember that.
Yeah. I don't know. I always felt like some of those teams back in the day would, make a point to really try to recruit and convert, FCS or D1 sort of almost level guys to play for their programs. And, that gave a lot of the Midwestern teams an edge, from a national perspective. It's not as easy to pull that off in the East Coast because of the number of teams, the proximity of schools, in my opinion. I know not everybody agrees with that. I know it's a sore subject for certain people, but I think that's been going on for a while. I think now, though, with the transfer portal and just the amount of information that's available on Twitter, Huddle, all these platforms, that it is easier, and it's almost more common to say, like, hey, if things don't work out for me here, I can jump someplace else really fast.
Yeah, I don't blame Jake Wright for withdrawing from the roster. Basically, he did change his Twitter up to take away the words Mayor Hardin Baylor quarterback, and now he's just quarterback on his page.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he hasn't given up the hope to be a quarterback still somewhere. He did transfer into UMHB from Pittsburgh State. Okay. So this is not like his first transfer, but I think a lot of guys like him try to find a home for good once they make that first transfer, and then have to face that tough decision when things pan out the way they did for him. He thanked his former OC, Padron, and left out offense coordinator Lee, who came back after a 3-year or 4-year hiatus at UMHB. Read between the lines a little bit there, maybe. I choose to, actually. We'll see what that all means.
It's obvious, the kids would say, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know, but I hope Jake Layon's on his feet. Again, he took them 4 rounds last year. But Drew Heenan, we talked about last night, we don't think he's getting a start last we knew at Springfield, although we'll see for sure tomorrow.
Yep.
But his experience, not the largest guy out there for sure, but he engineered that offense very well for Springfield.
Yeah.
Speaking
of transfers, Frank, I think we saw, and it may have been confirmed by our buddy Zach Vargas, that one of the future starter for North Central is a transfer as well, sophomore quarterback. I thought that maybe the senior that sat behind Luke Lennon would have a shot. He's not even on the 2 deep anymore from what was sort of leaked. But, I guess this is just the day and age we're in.
I don't know. It's just I wish that we had more of a loyalty system in D3 than that. I wish we had more of a, hey, you're paying your dues, you're paying your or you're not getting paid a scholarship. Basically, you're getting you're paying your way in. With the exception of some of the scholarship stuff on the academic side, they're able to get to them. That's the tougher thing to swallow with all this, is that you're not getting the same benefits they are at D1 for the D1 type of treatment that's happening around this division right now. Yeah. Maybe that makes me old school too. Maybe that makes me a little bit dyed in the wool in different ways. I get that. But boy, it's tough to watch some of this. Yeah, it is, especially, being a parent myself. I mean, I don't have to, my kids aren't student athletes, in a way, fortunately, it makes it easier. But I can imagine it's so tough for these families, not just the players themselves, but their parents, the extended families. They're going to all these games, or, paying the tuition bills, and then, they have some stuff, new coach comes in and, they're like, sorry, kid, we don't need you. So it's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, let's see the Muhlenberg cheer team here in front of us in our position here a little bit. Yeah, playing the theme from Ballers right now. Maybe do a little flag show for you. It's the sun starting to go down behind the trees. You can see a very bright area in the upper right part of the screen. That is where the sun is right now. And it will be going down behind those trees probably right around the kickoff time as it is. We're getting late in the fall here, that's for sure. As we go to the wrong screen there. We're back. Yep. I think they're getting ready for the mules to run out on the field, so they're going to be coming from my right-hand side. From there's a tunnel underneath their athletic building. It's pretty cool, and they kind of come up through that tunnel, and they'll run out onto the field right through here, through the cheerleaders, and should be. Exciting entrance for them. Right there, right in that spot right there. Yep. I'm going to assume we'll see Moravian's team come out first. Can you pan up with that camera? Yeah, show the tower. Isn't that pretty classic? I mean, quintessential kind of northeastern old school college. I don't know how old Muhlenberg is, but it's probably founded in the 1800s or something. Just a classic, kind of Pennsylvania private college vibe. Just to the left of that spire, there was a tailgate party behind the athletic building. Frank shook somebody down for a Diet Coke. Telling the company secrets now, JD. Yeah, exactly. But, we got to talk to some Muhlenberg families, and that's really what D3 is supposed to be about, right? It's a little more family. It's not supposed to be as cutthroat. But at the end of the day, some programs and coaches really want to win. So, hey. We know both Coach Milne and Coach Long are buddies, but they're going to put that friendship aside for about 2.5, 3 hours tonight and battle it out for this. Yeah, I was just going to say, don't think for a second that they're going to let up on each other. No way. Game. Yeah. Not so fast, my friend. Yes, indeed. Lee Corso retiring the other day officially. Orlando sports guy. Yep. So we're waiting here for Muhlenberg to come out, but you can see some of their fan base over there. That's kind of where the group goes after the game is done. A lot of tailgating over in that area. Tailgating for the opposition goes on behind us ultimately. So we'll. I got a little update for you from our friend Jaden Daly. Yeah, Jaden Daly. Justin Aaron. Yeah, Justin Aaron Helm out in Houston, Texas. Looks like the Merchant Marine just punched in a touchdown to take a lead on Montclair in the first quarter after a 3rd and goal. It looks like it's on a repeat. I'll retweet that. We're fans of the Mariners and the Red Hawks, so that's a tough one to kind of sort of torn in a couple of different directions there. Next week, We have some interesting games also coming up we should talk about before we part ways. And tomorrow I'm going to be at Cortland. You're going back home.
Yep.
You're getting infested by little bugs.
There are a lot of bees and other flying insects around tonight. I had to swat one off of Frank. I mean, seems like they've died down a little bit, but earlier around 6 o'clock, they're all over the place. So
as long as it's not rabid foxes going on.
Yes, apparently that's just up in the village of Ballston Spa tonight.
Apparently, you've had a day, folks. Let me just tell you, don't go into politics in your mid-40s or late 40s. That's all I'm telling you folks out there.
14 minutes till kickoff. Frank, why don't we try to...
Well, I was going to tell you about some of the Week 2 games next week. Grove City and Mount Union.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Tough one.
I think it's a tough one because, number one, we don't know what kind of, we picked Grove City to upset Cortland tomorrow. We'll see if that pans out.
That was the other dual pick that we agreed on.
If they lose that game and Mount Union destroys Wheaton on Saturday, we might have a different opinion of how good that game might be or not. We'll see. That's the beauty of Week 1. You don't really know. But then you have some data, and then you can make some assumptions about Week 2. So maybe Grove City Mount Union is the game of the week, but maybe not. Maybe people will be like, oh, Mount Union is going to win by 30.
Also, not too far down the line, Hopkins versus Susquehanna.
Yes.
That could be a really...
Is that a Week 3 or 4?
I believe 3. Okay. I think it is.
The 20th, maybe?
I believe so.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So that's another big one in this zone coming up. Kudos to the teams that are playing the tough non-conference slates because we've said it before. When you have the option and it's not inside your conference, sometimes playing those tougher games, it makes it a little tougher because you drop one of those and you don't win your conference, that means you've lost 2 games at that point.
Yeah, and that's where you get in trouble. It's the 2 loss unless you end up in like a 6-1 sort of conference tiebreaker situation where Team A is beating Team B, and B is beating C, and 3, A, all that thing.
Or we saw it with the PAC last year and the SAA in terms of the 3-way merry-go-round, though the PAC looked better in that with 1 loss each.
True.
But it's definitely a risk still, the risk-reward on that game. Now, somebody in Statsland out there was arguing with me on – keep going to that slide. Somebody in Statsland was arguing with me on the thing we talked about I did with Corey Hogue. And the idea I said was conference championship is a good thing to have because it sort of forces you into a higher MPI game that if you're going to lose a second game type scenario, then you're going to be in a much primer position playing a top-level team in that loss than not. And they're arguing, they've run their regressions and everything else. But practically, I'd rather take a loss to the number 1 or number 2 team in my conference than the number 6 or number 7 team in my conference if that were to possibly happen at the end of a season.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, right, they're going to take your 5 best wins or maybe a 10th or, whatever, 1% of your
9%, I think.
Yeah, whatever it is. So,
St. John's.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's all about the games you win and trying to, minimize the games that you lose. And in the system, if you're 8-2 and not a conference champion, let's face it, you're on the bubble, and you got to hope that
8-2 and 7-3 are all absolute bubbles. 7-3 less so than 8-2, obviously.
Yep. Yeah. And maybe like last year we saw a 5-3 team in Baylor that only beat 3 teams and still got in. So hey.
So a lot of big time games. Mary Hardin, Baylor, Wisconsin Whitewater in 2 weeks as well in week 3.
Yeah.
That's down in Belton. Might be a game that I travel to. Who knows? I may be banned from Belton by the end of some of my discussions about their situation there. But all love to our friends in Belton. It's our job to report on these things and to talk about these things, folks. And we can't hide from that fact as much as some people want us to.
No, definitely can't.
You were going to bring up?
What was I going to bring up?
See if that old age setting in.
Yeah. I know it was something important, but now it's kind of went in. Oh, I know what I was going to bring up. There's an actual game we're playing here tonight in Allentown. And so, we have talked about this rivalry dating back to when they were both in the Centennial. And for the first time in a while, realistically, Moravian is the favorite in this game.
At least for us, I think they were.
Yeah, I mean, they were ranked second in the landmark poll. Muhlenberg is ranked 5th in the Centennial. So there's been some questions around, how good is this Muhlenberg program? They've lost a lot to graduation, But we know Coach Milne is an excellent recruiter, so he should be able to restock the shelves. And there's probably some guys who've been waiting for a chance to get out there and play. We know that Moravians built up their team with a number of transfers, including Jenkins, who came, I think, from a Division II or maybe a NAIA school. So, I mean, this is definitely a Moravian team that's on the rise. They are going to probably come into this expecting to win this game, even though the Mules have had their number for a decade or so more, I think. I mean, this Sodexo Cup challenge dates back to at least 2014. This is, I think Coach said the 73rd all-time meeting here. So, a little extra bragging rights with the trophy, but this is a game where if you're a Moravian Greyhound, you're feeling kind of confident.
Number 8, by the way, is Jared Jenkins, and he is out there right now talking to the official. You can see on your screen right now.
It might have been 7. Okay, number 8.
Number 4 is Avery Kozer, I believe that is, and also looking to see if we can see that number 2.
Number 2, yeah, he's one of their captains, Gavin Gennarelli. He's, I think, a defensive back for them, corner.
2 is actually Isaiah Johnson. Sorry,
John,
did
my
not pick
bad.
you up on that. Yep, gotcha.
Yep, okay.
And
because more than 1, 2. So
is that 96? Is that Nate Carr also out there? I can't see.
Nathan Carr, yeah, I think if that's a 6 on there,
that's definitely a 9. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much. Can't miss the 9 the way he's turned.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're waiting for the captains from Muhlenberg, who have just come out, 754 and 3.
Yeah, I think number 7 is the quarterback who Coach referred to that was going to start tonight. I think it's Dylan. Now here come the Hounds. Yeah, they're fired up. Like I said, they got to be extremely confident going into this one, especially after the good season they had last year.
7, by the way, is Dante Mahaffey, who so
Dante,
the quarterback
not
is
Dylan, right.
one of their captains over there. Into the other captains from Muhlenberg in a moment, but you can see here we haven't gotten a good chance to look at Moravian because they were practicing, we're warming up on the other side of the field. You saw Coach Long just go by with a thumbs up to everybody over there as well. Now on the sideline, but they're getting ready for the Mules to come out here.
Yeah, and the other defensive captain, number 54, Blaze Curry, senior defensive end from Coopersburg, Pennsylvania, for Muhlenberg. Now they're announcing him now. I'm going to shut up.
Wait, I haven't seen Muhlenberg's team ready to come out yet on either side here.
Yeah, they're letting the anticipation build here in the stadium. The away stands are pretty much packed now with the Moravian faithful. A little bit of a lighter crowd so far. A little latecomers. It looks like they're all standing in front of the concession stand and kind of working their way into the stadium.
Well,
here.
one thing is that you'll see a lot of people around the fences here around the athletic center throughout the game. So
Yeah.
a lot of crowd just stands up for this entire thing.
Yeah, and I would imagine, too, that this could be another one of those 7:07 kickoffs. So we might actually have a little more time than we realize with some of the local
I don't know. It looks
coverage.
like the clocks are synced for 7
Okay,
actually over there.
all right. Well,
Stu Hinman, our friend, the head referee over there, is going to be heading up things.
the white
in
hat,
this
there he is.
Yes, he is.
New dad, congratulations, Stu.
Yep.
We got to meet his crew for a little lunch. Don't worry, no bribes were exchanged for any favors here.
No, but it's good to get to meet the crews for us.
But this
to know
is
them.
a Stag Bowl quality crew.
Oh, there are
So
multiple
this is
Stag Bowls inside this crew.
Yeah, this is a very strong referee crew. We actually spoke earlier on the far side of the field. There is a replay booth. We do have sideline review capability for this game as part of the Centennial. Frank, I think, is trying to pull out here to get a shot of the Mules taking the stage. Here we go. Decked out in the brand new gray home uniforms for the first time. It's a good look, Frank. I like it.
It is nice. Union has done this too, I'll be honest with you. So
I was going to say,
the
they kind
colors
of look like the Dutchman to me.
As the sun's going down in the distance, the darkness starting to come upon the field. The lights are on, but they haven't taken full hold yet as the evening is upon us here in this almost fall time here in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Yep. It's a beautiful night, Frankie. Really, I mean, this is our reward for getting through last night. I can't imagine better weather for a week 1 football game.
And they're ready here with their team Huddle, so a few more coming out here for Muhlenberg.
I had a chance in the pregame to see Coach Milne going over some of the hand signals with the team, so I actually may recognize some of them when they play the game. We'll see what happens here. I think this is going to be one of those situations where Moravian's going to want to try to get some points on the board fast. They're going to try, I think, attack through the air. Jenkins is going to try to stretch the field. Muhlenberg has a very strong defensive line up front. They're going to try to put pressure on the quarterback, force him into some errors. Coach said in the pregame interview they're going to probably change a lot of different looks, different packages, and move some guys around the defensive line. The butt kickers, as Ethan Gallagher from Whitewater mentioned it, so I'm going to be using that this season.
You know what?
Captains are going out for the coin toss. And a lot of these guys probably played each other in high school. It's going to be a chippy game at times, but I think they'll keep it clean. I know that Stu and company have got everything under control in case things get a little crazy out there, but both coaches know each other well, and I'm sure they've talked about keeping composed tonight.
And Stu showing the coin right now.
Yep, and
Moravian's calling it.
The home stands are starting to fill up now, Frank. I can see that the
Moravian called heads, and it is
deferring. I'm guessing Moravian wants the ball.
Muhlenberg won the toss, deferred.
Okay.
Moravian kicking off.
Oh, they are kicking off. Okay.
I believe that's what he stated.
All right, well, that's an interesting move. I thought that maybe Moravian would want to get the ball in Jenkins' hands early, but maybe they also want to just see what this new Muhlenberg offense looks like. So they're going to put them on the field and see what they're up against.
Folks, that means we are going to exit stage left here. We're going to be back here for the post game a little bit later on, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Where are you going? Not so fast. But thanks for joining us as always here. Been another fun Game Day Live.
Yeah.
Our Twitter feed's giving us a little bit of futzing here, but at the same time, our Facebook feed's still going strong here. But folks, thanks for joining us for this last hour and for last night as well. We'll see you later. Here comes the National Anthem as we leave you. Enjoy the game, folks. We'll talk to you later.